up when everybody else did. Yes, Regina Moon here with the Willow Creek Fire Safe Council. I normally just go by Gina, but representing Salyer and the South Fork County Road out of Salyer. So all is well. Thank you.
Thank you, Gina. I'm glad that you're able to hear us.
Right?
Okay, so seeing as there was no further discussion on 3A, we can go to 3B. And so this item, we added it to the discussion because the Trinity County Fire Safe Council is currently looking into September and October for Fireways community meetings and potential engagement opportunities. So we wanted to see if other orgs had some meetings or events slated for that time, so we can make sure we're not scheduling anything to be on the same day as other events. So we wanted to open it up, and also as an opportunity, we have our next newsletter on Monday, so we can also promote any adjacent events in our newsletter.
Did you have any proposed dates for those 2 months?
Not yet. No proposed dates yet.
So we're looking for any other input about other events that would be happening that might conflict.
Right.
Does anybody else have anything like that? Any other events scheduled for September or October?
Hey, the only one we would have as the Forest Service is National Public Lands Day, which is like usually around the 24th of September-ish. Yeah, around the 24th, 23rd, 24th.
Thank you, Ruth. I'm taking note.
And Skylar, the plan would be to have those on weeknights, correct?
Yes, that was our plan.
Gina, do you have anything going on down your way in September?
Not really. I think in October we have some kind of a spaghetti dinner plan, like the second weekend. It shouldn't conflict with anything though.
And you said that was the second week?
Second weekend.
Usually, little fundraiser is kind of a traditional thing, like the second weekend in October. I know last year we postponed it because the fire camp was still happening. They were using the VFW hall, but we're flexible. So yeah, just do what you got to do.
Okay, thank you, Gina.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have something to say, Dave? I see you're unmuted.
No, I was just saying I'm having technical difficulties and saying hello. And I'm joining the meeting. That's it.
Thank you, Dave. Happy to have you here. Okay, so seeing no further discussion on item 3B, we can transition over to item 4, which is grants. We don't have any planned discussion for this item, but if anybody has anything they'd like to add in regards to grants, this would be a good time. Okay, seeing no discussion for 4, we can go to 5.
Hey, Skylar. Sorry. This is Ruth. I think this fits in here. Just, and you guys probably know, I think we're hearing rumor that maybe as early as next week, the community wildfire protection grants will open for that 90-day period. So, you know, press release will obviously come out, but I think that's what the rumor we're hearing in the hallways, the virtual hallways, is next week, maybe-ish, but soon.
Do we know what the status of the last round of CWPG grants is? I was under the impression that it was taking a while for them to get executed.
That is a good question. I can definitely poke some people higher up and see and try to get a status if that works for you, Kelly.
I mean, I know that the Watershed Center has one and Humboldt County RCD has one and stuff like that. We don't actually, we didn't apply to that, but I was under the impression that it was, I guess I'm just a little surprised to hear that they're already doing another round when it sounded like they haven't quite even gotten the first round sort of taken squared away yet. So that would be helpful.
Excuse me, I know that with the Willow Creek Fire Safe Council and the PBA attended, we kicked off our first Zoom meeting with Humboldt County on our CWDG portion. And we're still in planning and design stage. The rumor is there's no monies no sooner than September, October. That's kind of, we're just waiting and nothing official.
Okay.
So yeah, but it's interesting though, this planning and design and, you know, thinking ahead for it. So a lot of unknowns, a lot of excitement and all that.
Sure. Yeah, Ruth, if that's something that you wouldn't mind taking on, that'd be probably helpful for us to get, if there's any kind of word, that'd be awesome.
Okay, yeah, I'll take a swat at that and get it to Skylar.
Thank you, Ruth.
The last time I met with Randy, she also suggested that they were finally getting kind of some movement. I think still no funding in hand, but things were moving on the CWDG.
Thank you, Bethany. I did see something online saying that there was rumor of it opening again in July, but now we're at the end of July, so I wasn't so sure, but if it does open pretty soon, that'd be cool.
Yep.
Okey doke. Any other discussion on grants? Okay, seeing none. Fire Safe Council Coordinator update. So for the Trinity County Fire Safe Council, we've been pretty busy since the last meeting. We went to the county fair, which was really great. We did a table with RCD and the Shasta Trinity Forest Service. Ruth put together some metrics for that. Thank you, Ruth, that we engaged over 200 people at the fair, which was really great. We got over 40 survey responses for the hazard mitigation plan. We got, I believe, over 50 responses on the chipper naming contest, and which concluded the chipper naming contest, which was pretty great. So we're working with Eric to get vinyl stickers. It's going to look pretty slick on the 3 RCD chippers, and the names that were voted on by our Trinity County community were Tumultuous, Chips Ahoy, and the Emulsifier. So the community has spoken and we are responding, and we're really looking forward to it as a way to get more people into community chipping come October. We had this really great banner at the fair, and there were a few folks that walked up to me and said, wow, RCD does chipping, that's great. And so we're already kind of seeing it generating interest, and we'll hopefully beat our record for spring and get more applications in the fall. And work has continued for the evacuation routes updates. I believe all of the evacuation zones have descriptions, but they're being reviewed, is the last update I heard. And other than that, we're planning to have a public review draft of the hazard mitigation plan this fall to hopefully have it go to the County Board of Supervisors early next year. And we are scheduling some work in the Downriver community, Burnt Ranch, Hawkins Bar, and Sawyer, South Fork, in August as part of the 2022 Winter Storm Recovery Program. And we have, I believe, 30 applications that we're going to review after this meeting, help some folks out. And last thoughts, and I'll give away my microphone, is I've been working with Denise for Firewise community mapping. which has been great because we've been getting a few calls and emails and general input from the community about concern regarding where the Firewise community boundaries are, people reaching out and asking if they need to create their own Firewise community, even though they are already in one. So we're hoping that if we do an education or an outreach push on this on our social media, and if we're going to reach out to the paper, then that can kind of let people know that they may be eligible for insurance discounts and that they are within a Firewise community. So we're looking forward to that too. And I wanted to kind of pause and see if there were any questions about any of that or any comments. Okay, seeing none, then we can jump right into project updates. So we are back on the alphabetical order this month. And let's see. First. I think first is NRCS.
Yeah, I don't have I guess a whole lot of updates, except that we did apply for some more funding through the Joint Chiefs program, and we received that funding. So not a new ask, just funding that was allocated that other places couldn't use, other regions. And so we got another 5 projects funded. And so we're working on the planning on those projects. So that's all for NRCS.
Thank you, Chris. Okay, safe or yes.
Larry Glass just jumped on.
Hey, other than the field trip I reported on last time, there hasn't been any new developments.
Thank you, Larry. SBI?
Yeah, we still have good weather enough to keep some projects going. I thought we'd be done by now, but we're working on some of the enhancement of the fuel breaks that were created for the river complex up around Trinity Center. But we've got a mastication machine up there and treating those so that they're a little wider and a little safer, and treating the material that have been pushed over with dozers. And then we've got a mastication operator who's also working, had one down in Hayfork Summit doing the same thing, but mostly with roads because he didn't have the fire equipment that we needed. So he was masticating as far as he could reach along the edge of the road going in towards the private properties out there on the north side of the summit. And then, but I've moved that operator now towards the Arbuckle mine area. There's some folks in there who have expressed concern about, another access route. They're kind of in a dead end there anyway, but opening up those roads a little bit better with mastication, what we can reach. So, any evacuation routes that go through SBI will have to be directed through the sheriff's department or CAL FIRE, whoever the managing agency is when there is a fire. And we have gates, but we won't be the ones who are making that decision. But the more opportunities people have, routes, the better people can make those decisions. So that's pretty much it for us.
Thank you.
No.
Trinity County Collaborative Group. It might just be you today.
Larry, did you have anything that you wanted to report out on with regard to the collaborative? Other than what you had mentioned?
Just that big project that we're looking at, where we understand that our original fuel break project, the pilot project, is going to be offered for sale in October. So that means it probably won't be operated till the following year, but at least finally that'll start happening. I think they'll start out operating on the plantations first. So Other than that, no, I don't have anything else that I can think of. I think we already talked about Big Ranch last time, so.
Thanks, Larry.
Trinity County RCD, or no? Oh, yes, you're on the agenda.
I'm on the agenda.
You're on
I'm
the
somebody
agenda.
now. I'm in the phone book too. Projects for OES that we're working on right now. Weaverville Fire Department, we're upgrading the emergency generator to be able to handle the entire building. We closed the bidding process last week. And right now we're waiting for our environmental historical preservation form to be approved by FEMA. Working with Bureau of Reclamation for a dam failure, Trinity dam failure tabletop exercise on September 7th. Looks like it's going to be at the CD Hall. It'll be from 9 to 12. And we've sent out some save the date. If there's anybody else that would like to be involved in that, feel free to reach out to me and we'll get you on the list. It's going to be an earthquake scenario with some damage to the dam and most likely a rapid release of water downstream. So that'll impact the Lewiston Dam and then the river downstream. Getting ready to start updating the emergency operations plan for Trinity County. Cal OES has a program now where they will look at it ahead of time and kind of give us some information and some pointers on what we should be looking at for updating. So we're kind of looking at that process. That needs to be updated. I believe it's by March of next year. We're working on the search and rescues. Well, Trinity County Sheriff's Office's command trailer. Getting that outfitted and getting that in use. Hopefully have that going in the next few months. There's a training, public information officer training in Blue Lake coming up the second week of August. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it's run through California State, CSTI, California something or other training institute. Over in Blue Lake, I'll be attending that. And I think we have 3 people from HHS that's also going to be attending that. And I have a meeting next week with the Sheriff's Office on the Code Red Zone descriptions. So we're going to be reviewing those and hopefully that's going to be something that'll be put into place here real soon. I've noticed that even like with Shasta County, now that they're using zones, they're also giving pretty brief descriptions of the zone when they had the fire up there, the Wonder Fire up there on Rich Bay. So it's kind of it's going around, and that's about it for OES. Any questions?
Thank you.
Dave, I saw that in the chat a little short report out. He said he's having some problem with this microphone, so maybe we could just read that real quick.
Yeah. All right, Dave, I'm gonna pull up your chat. Okay, so just to read for everyone, TPUD is continuing our hazard tree abatement system wide. Pole clearing is just about wrapped up. CAL FIRE crews doing fuels reduction around Trinity Alps Road. RAP Row project or ROW project still in visual impact studies portion of the EIS. Should have draft ready for public comment this fall. Thank you. Okay. So next, Shasta Trinity.
I defer to Sandy. I don't know anything, so I'll defer to Sandy. Sorry, Skylar.
That's okay.
So we honestly, I usually don't speak. I just listen at these meetings. we're in the middle of doing some hiring for a new fuels crew, which is really exciting. Interviews are like actually happening as we speak. And so that will allow us to be a little bit more productive in this time of year when our fire suppression resources are committed. Obviously, if we have like a local fire, there'll still be fire available, but their priority is going to be fuels. So that's kind of big news in our area. We're looking at going into fire restrictions. There's not a set date yet, but we're starting to have the conversation about indices and about the locations that fire use areas are. So when that comes out, I'll make sure to get that information out to all of our partners. I usually make a really good flyer that comes out at the same time. And we currently have some cover resources here. In addition to our regular resources, we have a couple engines. One's a type 3 and we have a type 6 engine that's on this side. And I think Hayfork has a covered hand crew over there that just available to help out with projects right now. And then also to fill in the event of any local incidents as they arise. And we also have a cover fire prevention that's been out and about from San Bernardino. And that is all I have.
Thank you, Sandy.
Was there anything to report out for like the Weaver fire or any of the recent fires that have popped up in the past couple of weeks?
You know, as far as report out goes, those are both state fires. So the investigation is not something that we're privy to. I can tell you that the suppression response was amazing based on a lack of other incidents going in the North State. We were able to get everything that was requested by the incident commander for both the one on Ridge Road. I don't remember the name of that one, and then the one at Weaver Valley. But they were both state fires. So I can't really speak to much of that other than they got everything that they requested. Same with the Wonderland, on the east side, because there isn't any incidents going to battle for resources. They were able to get everything they needed right away. So as long as we just keep having one at a time, we'll be fine.
Fair enough. Thanks, Sandy. I think we actually skipped us. And I did see that. I see Deborah Harris came on. So.
Yeah. Do we want to do Deborah and then we can go to RCD, so the Air Quality Management District?
Deborah, are you available to give us a report?
Yeah, we can skip Deborah for now. Okay, RCD.
Yeah. Let's see, we're really busy right now. Some ongoing fuels work along B-Bar K Road. That's under a CAL FIRE grant. That's been going really well, mostly focused on roadside and driveway work. And we also just sent a crew down to the South County to Ruth and Mad River. That is funded by PG&E, and same deal, it's mostly roadside cut and chip along the major roads. We are in a planning phase for doing some hazard tree removal in the August complex around Ruth and Mad River. That's funded by 6 Rivers. We just got a field trip down there yesterday, so that's moving forward. And our forestry crew is just wrapping up the layout of the Pettyjohn fuels portion, which the contract for the fuels work there is not under us, but it has been awarded for Tim and will be getting started soon. So glad to see that implementation starting as well. Those, I think, are my most important updates. Oh, and I want to welcome Adriana, who's my new project coordinator. She's running our forestry crew, so helping with that layout project and helping me with the hazard trees as well.
Thank you, Bethany.
The only thing I have currently to add is that since the last meeting, our fairly large stewardship agreement with the U.S. Forest Service has been executed, so we are, getting prepared to start in on a fair bit of work, which ranges anywhere from road work. And this agreement basically is a 10-year agreement, and it's basically work on both sides of the hill, Six Rivers and Shasta Trinity National Forest. And ranges in project types, everything from road work to hazard tree abatement to fuels reduction, prescribed fire support, forestry, fisheries, and third-party NEPA, amongst other things, at least in this initial flush. And this project is, this agreement was designed in such a way that for future years of funding, we only have to do modifications with minor scopes of works that'll improve the efficiency of actually getting more money allocated to us as we're moving forward with that partnership. So we're excited to get that project rolling. I think that's probably it for me now.
Okay, this, the Willow Creek Fire Safe Council.
Okay. Well, since we spoke last, there's been a lot that happened. July just rolled in and now it's almost over. So the Bigfoot Days was probably one of our bigger things. The second weekend, which was July 8th, it was so well advertised. There was just thousands of people there. We sold out and just stayed busy. The majority, a lot of people were just from elsewhere and had heard about it. That's how well it was advertised. So we did make $2,000 off of selling hot dogs and hamburgers and some donations and raffle tickets. So that was pretty exciting. I am glad it's over with. So yeah, July, we attended the hazard mitigation meeting that was held up there in Burnt Ranch. Was excellent. Skylar, you did very well on your presentations. It was food for thought for many people. We went back and shared, and looking forward to what that comes about with. And so yeah, let's see what else. The last year we've been working on a little bit of everything, but we did receive a grant from the HAF kind of funding, and we just last night sent off our annual report on what we did. So we had brought in $12,255.71 out of all of our different earnings and fundraisers to kind of show, our contribution. I think there was 891 hours just in the year of 2023 for in-kind services. And so hopefully that appeases them, because we're going to probably try to ask for more. What we are learning is that the reimbursable, the grants, like an advanced versus what needs to be reimbursed is going to be a challenge for us. It's just we are not the big money makers. We turn around and spent it. That rent was $500 a month. We have Adopt a Highway that monthly will, and if you do the reporting, it's $250. The state has that right now for anybody who's looking at a little extra, plus your name goes on the sign and all that good stuff. But one of the other things coming up, we've got one of our members who has been active in getting the Cultural Fire Management will be hosting the film, The Elemental Reimagining Wildfire. It was shown in Burnt Ranch. It was out at the Arcata. August 31st, it's going to be shown at the Dream Quest in Willow Creek in conjunction with the Resource Center, the Dream Quest youth programs, trying to introduce and bring that into the community. That is one thing that we're trying to share and introduce, calming our communities down, that fire can be a good thing if it's in the right way. Everybody's so panicked and PTSD is real, but so far so good. I mean, just the smoke that drifted in from Southern Oregon, people were panicked. So education is pretty important on that, but just these kind of films. So looking forward to seeing that again. That was a good film for anyone who hasn't seen it yet. Let's see, I personally did get signed up for Code Red. And then so I don't know what else is next, the Zone Havens or whatever, but that will be good. And let's see, I think that's pretty much it, what we have going on. We're just still trying to keep afloat, build crew capacity, stay involved. Looking forward to the CWDG grant that's coming up. We did our first kickoff meeting last week. We'll meet again for this Friday. And within that, there's partners at the boundaries between Shasta Trinity's, our edge there at Cedar Flat and up across the top, Hennessy. I know Forest Service is looking forward to doing a lot of work on Hennessy, and then around the community of Willow Creek. So again, that challenge between Trinity County and Humboldt County is always interesting and have to be creative. So I think that's about it, unless there's any questions.
Thank you, Gina.
You're welcome.
Well, it looks like Nancy hopped on. Nancy, do you have any updates for Six Rivers?
Afternoon. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, good. Okay. I just came in from our doing an inspection on our hazard tree abatement. BPA contract is the regional stewardship contract for hazard tree abatement on the fuels end. So far, we've awarded a little over 2,400 acres. And in 2 weeks, they got over 200 acres done. Polyhazard trees within the August complex along what we call priority roads, public roads, you know, most traveled, strategic and fire, Forest Service roads. We anticipate by the middle of September, approaching 1,000 acres of work done in that arena. So things are looking good on that front. And as money trickles down, we'll return to those areas and work on the phase 2, which would be either machine piling or prepping it for burning. So that's going real well. Was with RCD yesterday looking at the county roads that are coincidental with Forest Service lands, and you know, doing the first cut on that for cutting trees in the right of way there, the county right of way, which gets down from 25 feet to maybe 100 feet. So getting started on that. And that's about what I got on the fuels end for now. We got a lot more. I just came in, so I'm not as prepared. But that's enough. So all is well here. And I'll talk to you guys next month.
Thank you, Nancy.
Which county roads was she referring to? She's talking about hazard trees at the end.
Yeah, that was one of the projects that Bethany was mentioning. It's basically all the county roads within Six Rivers, Mad River Ranger District. That is also within the August complex. And I don't remember, like, you know, the Ruth Xenia Road, I think, is in there, and the part of the Mad River Road. And Bethany, do you happen to know off the top of your head?
Yeah, I have the map up. I can share it too. I just can't, it's not letting me share my screen. It's the Ruth Senior Road, a little bit of the Van Dusen Road, the Xenia Lake Mountain Road, and a little bit of Mad River Road and Berry Creek. Can I share now? Oh yeah.
You can share now.
Probably the most popular road that people are most concerned about is the road between Shaw Valley and Reeves Lake. And you can see on the map, not only is it in parts falling away, we've got a large amount, we've got a large hazard tree component on that road. And they've got it temporarily open now to accommodate fire apparatus but it will close quickly during winter. They'll have to close it again. So it does a good span from the south of Tettenpalm around the loop to the gateway to the Yellow Boys. So real pleased with at least getting a start on that. And that seems to be the #1 concern of the local community, is getting hazard tree abatement along county roads dealt with.
So, and just to expand on sort of the description of that project, it's a standalone cost share that we're doing with the Six Rivers. And the initial flush of money is going to go to some road work on US Forest Service roads, but the hazard tree abatement is all within basically the county road right away currently. So we're going to do like one pass through of falling trees within about 25 feet of the pavement. And then there's also some additional funding in there for us to at least begin third-party NEPA on then expanding that road right away out into Forest Service lands to the tune of about what the way that they specified it was like 250 feet uphill and 150 feet downhill. So roughly 400 foot, from 50 or 60 feet to about 400 feet. And then basically that money will kick over into one of the sub projects within the stewardship agreement will then be to address that the trees within that wider strip in out years. So that's the intent. Okay.
Okay. If there's no more discussion on that item, I wanted to, so Randy with the Watershed Research and Training Center let me know that she was not going to be able to attend today, but did share that they are looking to hire on at least one additional person to help with project coordination, which they have a lot of projects going on right now and she needs some help with that aspect. So I wanted to share that with the group. And then also, Catherine, if you wanted to add anything, I wanted to create a space.
Hi, everyone. My name is Catherine Rader. I'm with the RCD of Tehama County. Just wanted to listen in today. And just speaking to the CWDG, we received that grant. And just about a week and a half ago, we're finally starting to work through grant paperwork with the Forest Service. So that's just a little update on that.
Thank you, Catherine. Thank you for joining. Okay, well, we are through our project updates. And so if there's.
Did you want to see if Deborah was available?
Oh, yes. Deborah, can you hear us? Can you come through? If you have any updates?
I'm sorry. I'm in the middle of wildfire stuff. Currently for the flat fire in Oregon, I don't see any changes, at least through sometime Monday, Tuesday. We're going to leave the advisory as it is. The flat fire has lower RHs and higher temps on it today, which is producing a little bit more smoke, but nothing that is going to achieve levels that would require us to forecast for an AQI on a 24-hour basis. So at this point, they think the bedrock fire up near Eugene may go larger, and depending on size and weather, we may see some smoke from that, but I'm not borrowing trouble until it arrives. Eastern Trinity burning is suspended. Western Trinity, Humboldt, and Del Norte will be suspended on Monday, the 31st, with the exception of one small town over here in Humboldt County. All residential and private burning will be suspended, and nothing will be going unless there's a special permit from either CAL FIRE or if the Forest Service decides. Tribal burning may still continue We don't know, they just notify us. But at this point, prescribed fire is pretty much wound down. And I don't expect any increase in that until sometime in September over here in Humboldt County. Unless there's any questions, that's what I have at this point.
Thank you, Deborah. Okay. Unless there are any final comments or questions, then I would say that that concludes today's meeting at 1:47. Oh, Chris? Yes.
Hey, I had a question about community chipping. I've been talking to some landowners who have larger projects that could generate a fair amount of chipping. And I'm wondering if there's a limit on what the RCD or, partners like the Watershed Center would be willing to actually, how much time they'd be willing to spend like on a per property. Because some of these, you could spend a week on one property.
Beth,
Yeah.
do you want to take that?
It's a good question, and I think we don't have like a really clear definition of what our limit is. We've been trending towards the more than one day on one property just isn't really equitable use of that funding. That funding is a little tighter usually, but it does depend on how much funding we have. I'd say for this fall, it's probably going to be on the tighter end before we put in another Title III or RAC ask. I guess if those are EQIP customers, is there a way that they can fund some of the chipping, have a small fee for service for some of the chipping?
There's likely that option to get a little extra, but everybody wants as much as they can get for free. So I'll okay, I can go with that. Thank you.
Good question.
Any last comments or questions? Okay, seeing none, that concludes the meeting at 1:48 p.m. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, Skylar.
Thank you.
I was talking with Jim Spear today,